Maybe I shouldn't snap my fingers.
In case it's offbeat with the music that we add later.
Welcome back to Rewired and Desired, where intimacy, mindset, and disability intersect. And today we have Trina Ricketts, like every other day, and myself, Nicole Richards. We are your hosts, and we are here today with another episode. Super excited because today we are going to get into Trina's emotional femininity versus masculinity. Well, this is what we'll call it for right now, but we're
Mhm.
going to talk a little bit about that, and I'm really excited about it. I first want to say before starting off, Trina, is that last week we talked about my issues around this sex and drugs and rock and roll. No, just kidding. Just
I don't
sex and
really want to go back
intimacy.
and watch it now.
And I had really great, I feel like, breakthrough with that. Like I really feel that that I understand the thinking now behind like what you said about, thinking of it as for myself and thinking of it, in that he may also have his insecurities, which, we forget about. And so
Mhm.
yeah, it was really good. And I feel very blessed to have been able to have that with you. So thank you.
Aw, I'm so
Yeah.
glad I helped. I was nervous. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna find out right now if I'm a bad coach and in front of everyone.
Stop. You're great. You did really good. Thank you so much. It was very helpful. Very
Thank you.
helpful. Nothing new has transpired, by the way, but I just want to say that it was very helpful. So
Thank you.
thank you. Yes, yes. So let's get into Trina and her femininity versus masculinity role that she's feeling the pull and the draw to speak about today. What give us some background here.
Okay, so the first time I had an ostomy was in 2012. It was temporary ostomy, and I was in a not good relationship. Had three small young children, and like it was just effed up my whole entire life. Like I was in and out of hospital, basically felt like the hospital was my second home. And then came home to a place where I felt like I was a burden. My partner never touched me. I experienced like severe touch starvation. I didn't know that I was going through that until later, but never touched me, never treated me with tenderness, made me feel like a burden, made me feel like my illness was too much for him, too much for him to handle. And taking, because he had to take on a lot more role, obviously, with taking care of the kids, especially when I was admitted to hospital. And, or when I first came home after my surgery, because it had been an emergency surgery, I was like really weak and frail, like just like skin
Hmm.
and bones. And could barely get out of the bed and walk
Hmm.
around. Like it was just, rough. But I stayed in that relationship until I was well enough to leave it because I obviously wasn't well enough to take care of my own kids for a while.
Hmm.
And I wasn't going to leave without my kids. So once I felt well enough, it was like the universe kind of just collaborated with me, and money I didn't expect from a very unlikely source suddenly came out of nowhere, and I had an opportunity to leave that relationship. And when I walked out of that relationship, I felt an incredible amount of relief, just like joy, even relief,
Hmm.
joy, peace,
Yeah.
gratitude. And my health immediately improved. Like immediately, I wasn't perfect. I had really bad disabling arthritis and just all kinds of
Yeah.
issues. And my kids had to help me get dressed sometimes and like
Mm.
turn door handles or jars or
Wow.
anything that involved the joints. So it was a hard time, but I was so happy because I was out of that toxic environment. And when I was in the
Mm-hmm.
toxic environment, I thought that I thought I wanted to kill myself because I was sick
Mm-hmm.
and I was trying to stay alive for my kids. But
Mm-hmm.
one day I thought, if I wasn't in this relationship, but I was still sick, would I still want to kill myself? And I realized, no, I wouldn't want to kill myself. I could be sick and happy if I wasn't in this relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, the this is really far background just to give you kind of
Yeah.
like a
Yeah, that's
basis of
great.
where I'm coming from. I got out of that relationship. I created a peaceful home for my children. I met another man and had a 9-year relationship with him where I was so healed from my past, like those years being sick and lying down and not being able to live my life. I
Yeah.
spent that time reading, absorbing, learning, becoming a new person, a new human that didn't see the world the same way anymore because nothing really mattered anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Anything I used to get upset about didn't matter to me anymore. I just wanted to just have a good life and be happy,
Mm-hmm.
and not control anyone and not, no toxicity in my life. That it just wasn't allowed. If I ever felt like I needed to like look in a guy's phone, then the relationship should just end,
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
instance. So that relationship, even though he had addictions and whatnot, and there were issues, especially an issue of him being untruthful
Mm.
through the whole 9-year relationship. I often knew he was lying to me, but I just
Mm-hmm.
didn't care. I was just like, I, until it affects me, I'm I love him. We
Yeah.
laugh so much. We have a great life together. Until it affects me, I'm not going to care about the lying. But it did make me unable to completely feel safe with him, obviously, because I never believed anything he said. You know what I mean? We had the greatest friendship and like loved each other deeply. And I did feel
Mm-hmm.
deeply loved by him. Like, I'm not going to say that I didn't. But I knew he was lying all the time, which was his thing, right? Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't really judge him about it because I know that when people lie, it's because they feel unsafe.
Yeah.
They don't feel safe enough to be honest. That's
Yeah.
why people lie. And so I wouldn't judge him about it. I'd just be like, God, it's annoying that I can't trust this guy.
Yeah.
You know?
For sure.
But we had a really good relationship, and I think a big part of it was because we connected physically. We always made time for physical intimacy, and as someone who went through touch starvation and then became
Mm-hmm.
an intimacy surrogate, it was very important to me to keep that connection going.
For sure.
And it kept our relationship alive. And then my health turned for the worst. And at the time, I was like developing fistulas in my rectum.
Mm.
And I mean, they were going on for years, and I was avoiding an ostomy surgery, okay?
Yeah.
I was literally using like those little medicine dropper thingies and putting colloidal silver in it and then putting it
Ah.
to the rectum of my ass to like
Oh.
soothe the inflamed fistulas?
Ah.
Yeah,
God.
but the straw broke when the inflammation in my rectum started creating these infected Bartholin cysts in my vagina.
Ooh.
And
Jeez.
I had this danger now that I might have a fistula that would go through to my vagina, which
Mm.
terrified me. I did not want, poop
Yeah.
coming out of my
Yeah.
vagina.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry because I know a lot of people have been through that. And so I can't imagine. I'm glad it didn't end up happening, but there was a big
Mm-hmm.
danger of it and I couldn't have sex. And so we went a long time without sex
Mm.
before I finally got my ostomy surgery. Like probably about 6 months. And then after I had proctectomy surgery and everything, I couldn't do anything for
Yeah.
like a really long
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
So, and he was the type of person that's how he connects. I could have just had intimacy, like hugging, naked hugging, um, anything but penetration. But for
Hmm.
him, that's how he accesses intimacy. And I realized that for some men and women, there's a block for them, and it has to be penetrative sex, and it's really hard for them to break through that
Right.
block.
Yeah,
Do you know
yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I
No,
get
yeah,
it.
for
Like,
sure.
so I get it. I don't judge him for that.
Hmm.
So the relationship ended shortly after my surgery.
Hmm.
Yeah, and it was due to addiction, but I think it also was due to um, not being able to connect intimately.
Yeah.
Um, and then when the relationship ended, I went into like, so all through this, I have never really been able to be vulnerable, right? We're talking years.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've been in survival. I've been taking care of my children, uh, making sure the bills are paid, making sure everything is like just doing all of
Hmm.
the leading, all of the providing and managing of the everything, like
Yep.
everything. And
Yep.
then our relationship ended, and what little bit of vulnerability that I could experience because I had him to fall back on was gone. And it just made things so much worse. And
Yeah.
for a few months, like I cried and cried and cried.
Mm.
I was leaving a home that I lived in for 9 years. That's the longest I
Hmm.
ever lived in one place. My relationship was ending, even though I knew it had to. I was sad.
Yeah.
And I was scared about finances. Like
Yeah.
it's
Right.
ridiculous to pay for rent these
Legit.
days. Yeah.
Hmm.
So, and we had like a 6-person family we were breaking up because the kids didn't want to move with me to the another city where I could
Yeah.
afford to live.
Right.
But my daughter ended up moving in with me to help me pay the rent, and that's also very not like it's humbling.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now fast forward, it was a year in July, so almost a year and a half since the relationship ended, and
Hmm.
I've moved out here, and I'm starting and all this time I haven't like been able to cry about anything or mourn or feel vulnerable. But that's starting to break a little bit.
Good. Good.
Yeah, like usually like in relation to something that's happening with someone else.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just this past week, um, I I was seeing a coaching client at his home, and it was the first
Hmm.
time I'd been there. And so
Hmm.
he started showing me around his place, and his wife passed away.
Mm.
Um, I don't know how long ago, I forget, but not that long ago.
Hmm.
And he showed me this walk-in tub that he had built for her because she was really sick before she passed away. And
Mm.
she loved baths. She didn't like to shower,
Oh.
she loved a bath. And
Hmm.
so it got to the point where she couldn't get in the bath and out of the bath. So he had this walk-in bath installed.
Yeah.
And then when it got to the point where she was too weak to get herself from her wheelchair into the walk-in bath, then he had like this pulley system installed to help him get her into the bath. And like while he's showing it to me, I had like walked right into it and sat down in it and closed the
Yeah.
door of it because I was just like, this is fucking cool. Like
Yeah.
this is awesome. And I was remembering when I was really sick, and it was hard for me, especially with my arthritis and my weak body, to get in and out of the tub. But as soon as my wounds healed, I wanted to have baths again because I'm a bath
Yeah.
person.
Yeah.
And so I was having these flashbacks and thinking how great it would have been to have this kind of um, tub.
Yeah.
And then when he started talking about the pulley, I just started crying.
Oh.
And then I realized, and I said it to him, that um, no one's ever cared for me like that. And I've been through it all like alone, you know?
Oh. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
So
But you
it's
know
just,
what? Look at you though. You have the self-awareness of it, you know? And
yeah,
it's amazing. You're right now, you're releasing that trauma by getting rid of like showing your emotions and releasing those emotions, you're healing your insides that way.
Yeah.
And it's such a beautiful thing that you got to share that moment with him too.
Yes, it was. You
That's
know what he
beautiful.
said? He put his hands on my shoulders and he said to me, if you are ever in that position again, let me know and I'll be
Oh,
there for you. And I was like, I
oh,
barely know the new client, but we just
oh,
had like this special moment, that
yeah.
was yeah.
Mm.
So it's there. It's
Yeah,
like
I mean,
it
you're doing
comes
it right
out in
now.
tiny
Yes.
little bursts or like
Yes.
tiny little bursts here and there.
Yeah.
Um, But when I actually try to make time to like kind of explore it, it's just I can't. It's weird.
Hmm.
Another time that I felt uh like almost like I couldn't stop myself from crying, but I forced myself to stop because I was in public situation.
Mm.
Uh it was a day that I went to a church service and
Oh,
I was like, and it was part of the reason I was feeling like I need to find a community. I need to find somewhere where I
yeah.
can feel safe and be vulnerable. And
Yeah.
as soon as I walked in, even though I didn't know anyone and I did not feel safe, um, I just like felt like the tears were about to flow. And I feel like in spiritual venues and spiritual
hmm
places that
hmm
happens,
Yeah, I could see that, like just being in the presence of God, regardless of the religion or the differences in that in the denomination, it's still a really beautiful thing to be in the presence of God. I believe that. So,
Mhm.
yeah. Um, yeah, I think one thing I want to say is mentioned a few minutes ago is like your awareness is like I mean, that's key, right? Awareness is everything. So I super applaud you for being aware of what you're feeling. And then the second thing I kind of, if you don't mind, me going into is kind of telling the viewers the difference between the feminine and
Sure.
masculinity, because I think not everyone understands it and they misconstrue the fact that we think about gender and gender roles, and that's not
Yeah.
what we're specifically talking about. And I
Yeah.
know a lot of people don't maybe quite understand that. But to be in your feminine, as you know, it's flow and it's rest and it's ease and it's energetic and it's you're embodying your creativity and um it's an inward pull, right? So it's an energetic inward pull that the female just her presence alone just exudes and brings her magnetically what she needs and wants and desires. And in the feminine, in the masculine role, it's a very outward. It's a very push. It's hard work. It's grind. It's effort. It's overthinking. It can be anxiety provoking,
Mhm.
but it's also a shield and it's safety and it's a safety net. I also believe that like female and male, right? We have both masculine and feminine roles, but it's about the balance of the two.
Mhm. Yeah,
I think
everyone
that we
has feminine and masculine energy, and it's just where are we
right
living in it?
Right. And in what perspectives of the situation are we in? Because we have to be, we do still have to grind and we still have to do hard work and we
Mhm.
still are gonna have anxiety, but right. So I think as a woman, it could a balance of like 80-20-ish, right? So we want to be 80% or so in that feminine energy, and we want to be 20% in that masculine because we still have to execute, right?
Mhm.
We want to relax in the feminine and then execute in the masculine.
Mhm.
But when we're embodying those feminine energies, we're pulling it in. We're pulling all that in, and you're doing that. You're definitely doing that. So I'm wondering, what do you think the reasons are that you have to have such protection up? And where do you feel that you have to put up a shield in your life?
It's a good question. Um, I feel like if I don't do it, no one will. That there's no one that will help me. I've spent, and this is a belief pattern that I'm trying to undo, is the belief that I don't need anyone. And that was like, that belief helped me survive. But I know, especially from my work in intimacy, that like our core need as humans is connection.
Hmm.
And if I don't need anyone, well, that's not true. I need other people to
Hmm.
experience connection, right?
Right.
So I think that it's like you said, it's a shield
Hmm.
to prevent me from unraveling. And oh, I'm getting emotional.
Sorry. I
No,
want to give you
this
like a
is what we
hug through
wanted,
the
right?
computer.
This is what we wanted. Um, but like if I unravel, then who will who will step up, because there isn't anyone to step up. And
Yeah. Yeah.
even when I was in my 9-year relationship, and I did feel like I had a lot of support in many
Hmm.
respects, it
Hmm.
still landed on me. It
Hmm.
still landed on me because he was unstable
Hmm.
with
Hmm.
his addiction and really bad with money and like and the lies.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Where where else do you think some of it might be coming from besides the relationship?
um like fear for my children mostly.
Hmm.
I think
Hmm.
that's really the biggest part of it because that's what keeps coming into my head is
Yeah.
um how can I take care of them and support them and be there for them and keep my
Yeah.
health so I don't die on them and like
Yeah.
everything else.
Yeah.
Um, if I don't contain my emotions.
Yeah.
And also I don't like them to see me. They've seen me they've seen me suffer so much.
Yeah.
They've seen me do a lot of crying
Yeah.
and a lot of um puking
Yeah. Yeah.
and a lot of being rushed to the hospital and having ambulances called and caretaking. They've been caretakers
Yeah.
and I just feel like they don't need
Mm.
more of
Yeah.
that,
Yeah. Do you think that part of it too could be the fact that there's been no one there to protect you from the hospitals, from the medical trauma? There's no one, like, there's that guilt around the children having to be there for you to step up into that kind of that role. And you want to give more because but your giving looks like that masculinity, right? It's the protector, so you're protecting, but you're not being protected.
Yes, 100%. That's actually probably where it's all coming from because I
Yeah.
think it really started when I was just left alone in the hospital, left alone at emergency by my husband, like
Yeah.
over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And they would forget about me and I would be too sick to advocate for myself. And it's pretty scary. And like I'm sure lots of people have had the same experience as me who've
Yeah.
been through medical system is
Yeah.
doctors, nurses, paramedics who treat you like you're hysterical or treat
Yeah.
you like you're making up your symptoms or
Hmm.
it's all in your head or
Hmm.
they make up diagnoses when they don't know what's
Hmm.
wrong with you and shit
Hmm. Hmm.
and because you're so sick and you're so weak, it's really hard to advocate for yourself.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you have to because
Yeah.
if no one else is there, then no, then you could
Yeah,
just fall through the cracks,
100%.
And like, I don't know if you've noticed, but if you have someone go to the hospital with you, they treat you better.
Do they?
Yeah. The doctors and nurses, they get you in faster, they treat you better because it's like there's a witness?
Oh, that
That's what
makes
it feels like.
sense.
I don't know. It just feels
Yeah,
like that.
no, that
That
makes total sense.
they're like, oh, someone cares for this person, you know?
Yeah. Do you notice that how long ago was the incident that you went to the gentleman's house for the
Like
coaching?
a week ago,
Do you
it
see
opened the floodgates.
and do you
It was
see
like
that
since
me
our last podcast.
there you go. Do you see that mirror effect though? Like you're being the mirror of you're seeing this man who protected his wife
Yeah,
and you didn't get that.
you know.
And you didn't get that.
And I remember for years seeing people on Facebook whining about how no one was there for them and or at their hardest moments. And I just would think in my head, like, that's how it is. Like, get over it.
Right.
Like, how
You know
rude is
what? And I
that?
can say yes. And that's that masculine energy coming out.
Yeah.
That's that masculine. That's that like shield. And that's that like, I've got this and nobody else, it doesn't matter. I'm going to put on a front. But then that's where the emotions get shoved down
Yeah.
into the core. And then it creates more problems. It creates physical and emotional problems because we're not dealing with it. So the crying, you're right, it's the release. You want to keep
Yeah,
releasing.
totally.
So I want to just like take a minute, take it like a couple deep breaths in and just hold it and release it. Because I know you're feeling it somewhere in your body at this moment.
Hmm.
Where are you feeling it?
The back of my neck.
Yeah, yeah. And I want to take a minute to think about like, what feminine traits are you already embodying? Like, what traits does Trina embody and exude to the world? Because I know you have them. I've seen
Yeah. Yeah.
them.
I think my main one is like unconditional love because I love everybody.
Yes, I can see that. I can see
And I
that.
I think that's like a mother nurturing feminine trait.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um uh I'm a good communicator.
Yeah.
That's more usually a feminine trait because
Yeah.
feminine energy is more bonding and
Mm-hmm.
communicative, and I'm very good at communication.
Yeah.
And I'm non-judgmental. I guess that kind of goes with the unconditional love, but I'm really
Mm-hmm.
non-judgmental and accepting of people, even people who don't share the same beliefs as me. And
Yeah. Yeah.
as long as they're not mean to me or
Yeah.
assholes about it, I
Yeah.
I will agree to disagree. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's very feminine. I think it's more masculine to be more polarized
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and
And you're magnetic.
am I?
You are so magnetic. Yes. Look at you exude that to like, you post your pictures in the group and I mean they're gorgeous, they're beautiful.
Mhm.
You shine. You have like
Mhm.
a light and a glow. So you're very much there. It's just I think it's dealing with that past trauma and you're right, we're gonna feel we have to take care of things. But if we do step back, embody that feminine and let it just flow to us, the ease, it's gonna pick itself up. That
Mhm.
magnetism that you already have is just gonna keep pulling and pulling and pulling and pulling in. Feminine energy is like we're shifting into that in general, like the themes
Mhm.
around like globally and planetary is that we're shifting into the feminine.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because the masculine is like that whole hard rigidity thing. And not because we're saying men are hard, rigid people. We know men also are feminine, say
Hmm.
that. But the structure of society's shifting. And as we shift, we're going to be in that flow and that magneticism. But the traits that you're already embodying, and I see you embodying it. My other question to you is you said something about finding more ways to bring it in, right? Like looking for ways. So what are some more ways that you can embody it and bring it in and bring in that feminine energy? What are some things that you do or could do more of?
Ask for help more.
Yeah.
Um, I hate asking for help. I really do. I
I'm the
really
same. I'm
hate
the same.
it. Um, I don't know. It's really hard because I feel like I just don't see a future where I can let my walls down in that way. It's really hard for me to imagine letting myself be like emotional. Feminine energy is emotional and it's
Yeah.
ebbs and flows and it can be erratic and I've been become so steady
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
it scares me to imagine myself letting myself be like that erratic. Like, remember when we were young, we talked about how we were psychotic.
Yes. Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, oh God, I would never want to go there again. Not that I would, but
We should
maybe
do an
that's,
episode on that. We
yeah,
should
we
do an
should.
episode.
Some of the stupid shit we thought and did when we were young.
Oh my gosh, that's so embarrassing.
But I think I think you access your feminine by talking about your problems, and that's something I also never do. So this podcast right now is the first time I've talked about any of these things.
Wow. That's amazing, though. That's so amazing. Like I said, that's that awareness and creating, having the awareness and then admitting it out loud, not just to
Yeah.
me, but all the people who are going to be listening.
Well, pretty bad of me. I'm a coach and I encourage people to talk about things so much and then I only just suddenly realize now, wow, this is the first time I've talked about this. Like
Yeah, that sounds a very like a very masculine trait.
yeah, no doubt, right?
I have a few suggestions too, if you want to hear
Of course, I
them.
would love
Okay.
to. You've already helped me so much. Like, I
Oh,
can't
thank you.
believe like I feel it like I found like what the core trauma is and that's the hardest part because you can't really work on it until you know what it is, you know?
And as women who have been through abusive relationships or non-emotionally stable relationships, as women who have had our bodies cut open, have worked in, I don't know, sometimes male dominant fields. That's another issue. We have to put up a shield because no one else is there to protect us. No
Yeah.
one else is there. And so what you're doing by that's just it's like the fight or flight, right? Are we gonna fight? Or are we gonna like run away and hide?
Yeah.
And you chose to fight because you have your children to fight for. You're
Mhm.
all that your children have. You're their rock and they're your rock. And
Yeah.
as a woman, that's our again our femininity. That's our
Hmm.
feminine role is that we're nurturers and we can't always do that because we're sick or we have this issue, we're in the hospital. So we put the shield up and we protect ourselves because we didn't have that role coming in. We didn't have that that
Like if
that
I had
role.
someone like my client
Yeah.
to hold me and take care of me and love
Oh.
me through all of that, can you imagine?
Mm.
I mean,
Yeah,
that would be so beautiful. And
could be.
it would have been such a different experience for me.
Yeah, it would have. But you know what? It made Trina who Trina is.
It did. It did.
It made
I wouldn't be doing this work. I wouldn't be doing intimacy
exactly.
coaching. I wouldn't have written my books. Like there's so much that
Yeah.
wouldn't have happened if I didn't go through everything I went through exactly how I went through it.
100%, 100%. It's your purpose. It's your why. It's the people that you've been called to help.
Mhm.
Trina, the intimacy coach, Trina, the intimate ostomy, Trina is going to help you because you've been through what you've been through. They call it your dharma. And when you're living your dharma, you start to also embody those feminine traits, those energetic. That's why you're automatically shifting. You're automatically shifting without you knowing it. But here's a few things that I think can help embody it more. And well, you already know about visualizations. You do visualizations.
Mhm.
I know you know about that. So I encourage you to also do your own visualization of your ideal, write it down, detail of what one day in a feminine role of you embodying that 80%, 20% femininity role. What does that day look like for you?
Wow. There has to be a man there.
There
That's
you
the
go.
first thing that kind of fucks it all up.
Well, I say read it, write it, and say it out loud. If you physically write it, then typing it, that's number one. You read it out loud and read it, write it, and say it verbally. So those are what I say. And repeat it, repeat it, repeat it. The other thing is, and I'm gonna go out on a whim, but being that you have kids still at home, I'd imagine alone time is hard, correct?
Yeah, yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Right.
But
And when
like
you're
my
alone,
youngest goes to school and my other daughter is at her boyfriend. So when that coincides at the same time, I'm alone.
you're alone, but what are you doing during that alone time?
I'm on the computer. I'm
Working, right?
working.
Working. You're
Yeah.
executing in the masculine, which is
Yeah.
great. You do want to be doing that at times. But I venture to, okay, no, venture is the wrong word. I ask you to spend some alone time with just Trina, some of that journaling, some of just the quiet, like no music, no nothing, just quiet alone time in your thoughts, in your feelings, in your emotions. Yeah,
Yeah, that
I
sounds
know.
like no
It's
fun.
it's not easy. Journaling,
You're right, I do need to do something like that.
journaling. Yeah.
Just like being without like a something I have to do,
Okay.
you know?
So funny you just said that because the last one I wanted to say was switching the narrative from I have to do this to
Mm,
I get to do this
yeah.
and writing that list because like taking care of your children. You get to do that.
I do though. That one I do get to
And you
do,
know
which I'm
that.
excited about. But yeah, there are things that I'm like,
Yeah. No, 100%. Because in 10 years from now, they're going to remember it was you, it wasn't him, you know?
hmm
And but they're also going to be seeing that shift in you from more of the allowing than the pushing and the grinding. Can you imagine all the things that if you look back at your mom and you look back at you and then you look forward to your children, can you see how the progression of of understanding us as women and understanding what our needs and um taking care of ourselves has become more of a priority? And
Mm,
because we got away from that so many,
yeah.
I'm all for the fact that we should we should be empowered women, and we should know that. But there is that being taken care of piece that,
Hmm.
we have to allow in.
Yeah. And that is probably the key is I'm not allowing it in. There's probably some kind of energetic block that is maybe even deeper from my childhood. Who
Yeah.
knows?
Yeah.
Because everything is what we attract.
It is. It is. It's like a universal law for
Yeah,
sure. For
that's so
sure.
true.
But
Wow. I feel like some relief. I think getting tears out really helped me
yeah.
get some relief for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I can totally relate to some of what you're saying. Not on that level, but I can. And it's so easy to be distracted by, having these goals and even just doing what we're doing.
Hmm.
But if you look at even just like taking this podcast, for example, right? It's there's a masculine role to it. Have to edit it and put it up and put the descriptions, and you do the thumbnail, and we do all these things, right? So this is
Hmm.
just one example. We get ready and we make sure that, everything is great. It's like an outward thing, right? Outward. However, when we think of, I know, like, I've been thinking of it as like too, is like, but it's so fun, and it's that
Hmm.
energetic, and
Yeah.
it's so that feminine. And so if we could do a podcast for every version of our life, like, what would that look like, And I
Hmm.
know you do, even in your coaching, I think you probably feel that way. Like, yeah, it's that execution piece, but it's still your magnetic charm that brings in the people that are attracted to the what you want to give them, the what
Well,
you
thank
have
you.
to. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I feel like when you're in a coaching session, or at least when I'm in a coaching session, and even when you and I are talking in this podcast,
Mhm.
that I do feel like I'm more in my feminine because this is a more feminine energy thing to
Mhm.
do is to talk
Yeah.
and get your
Yeah.
feelings out and laugh and it's girl
Yeah.
talk. It's
It's
girl
girl talk.
talk.
Hmm.
Um, it's so different from how guys talk. You watch the bro shows, like I love Joe Rogan, like
Yeah.
like I love those shows, but it's totally different when you're listening to guys talk than when you're listening to women talk.
100%.
But yeah, so and when I'm in a coaching session with someone, because I'm really trying to understand them and feel what they feel. So that's very feminine. And I think that for my clients to even make the decision to access my services, they
Hmm.
have to go into their feminine for the asking for the
Yeah.
services. And
Yeah.
that's a block for the men who access my services.
Oh, yeah.
Women, the block is uh, I don't deserve this. Isn't a priority. Um,
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
should be able to figure this out myself. Men, it's like I don't want to ask for help. Um, like
Yeah.
what are we going to talk about? What are you going to do? What am I going to expect?
Yeah. Yeah.
But women, I think we kind of know, oh, well, we're probably just going to talk.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Which
No,
we're
you're
all
right.
pretty.
It's got to be really hard for the men if you think about it,
Hmm.
and that's the fortunate thing about society is we've made it be that way. Society has made men think that they have to be 100% in their masculine.
Hmm.
And that's not true. They still need 20% of that feminine role in their own lives.
Yes. Yeah, they do. Yeah.
And
It
yeah,
makes a big difference because if they don't, then it blocks a lot of um access to intimacy.
yeah. Oh, that too.
Hmm.
That too.
But the funny
Wow.
thing about intimacy between men and women is how we achieve it. Women achieve intimacy through like what you and I are doing right now. We've just gone through
Hmm.
together is intimate.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
Men can't access the intimacy and the connection uh, until they have the physical intimacy. component. We're the opposite. We need the emotional or mental intimacy
Mm-hmm.
component, the bonding to occur, and
Mm-hmm.
that is what makes us feel does, in the mood or, have desire for something more. Men have the desire first and then they
Mm.
go into intimacy. It's really interesting
It is interesting
learning
'cause
about it.
yeah, isn't there something like men feel seven emotions while women feel like 30 or 40? I don't know what the number is, but it's
Really?
like,
No, I haven't heard that. I should look into that. That sounds really interesting.
yeah, if you do, let me know because I mean, I probably won't, but I just know that I think my sister told me that. Like, so that makes sense because when we are engaging with a man, we want to feel that where they just want to like, do their thing and then, maybe it will come later, right?
hmm And that's the
Interesting.
thing. The thing is I think what our society has taught us is that the thing is just the thing. It's the goal. The goal is the thing. But really, what happens if you actually set some time aside? This is our time together. We're going to spend an hour together naked or whatever.
Hmm.
Um, and no matter when the thing occurs in that hour, we're not going to walk away, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and then that's usually when the man is more likely to open up, is in
Wow.
those moments afterwards when it's like pillow talk. Pillow
Mm.
talk is the time to get a man to open up. But for women, we're like, I don't want to have sex with him until he opens up to me.
Yeah.
And he's
Yeah.
like, well, I'm not going to open up to her. And unless, but he doesn't, it's not cognitive, right? But you know, it's how men experience connection,
Mm.
and that's how their bonding uh, hormones are released after the fact, kind of thing.
Interesting.
It is really interesting. It's all like science-backed neurological theory slash
Yeah.
science.
Yeah. I mean, it's probably has to do with chromosomes, right? Which
Yeah.
is the same, which is why the feminine masculine role is what it is, And like for a couple that's, maybe two men, right? Irregardless, there has to be one of them has to have a little bit more of a femininity role
Mhm.
to
Usually.
to make that work. Like you'd hope,
Yeah, I mean, I have no idea because, but in every relationship that I of my friends who are gay, um, there's one person who's more masculine and one person
Yeah,
who's more
who's
feminine,
more
whether
feminine.
they're female or male.
Yeah,
But I don't know. Maybe there could be. I have no idea.
yeah, yeah.
But like that's not necessarily in how they're dressed or how they look. It's just in
No.
how they interact in the
Yes.
relationship.
Yeah.
hmm
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like if I was in a lesbian relationship, I would probably be the more masculine one. I
I,
think.
I think you would be too.
Yeah.
Just because you tend to have that mind that push the hard, the grind, the what. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I don't demur.
Yeah.
I
I
don't
think I
demur.
would also be masculine actually.
Yeah.
So,
I
yeah,
don't
I think
really know
so.
you well enough yet to say, but I
Okay.
do know that you have like a strong energy, like that you,
Yeah.
but so I can't just say, oh yeah, you'd be masculine. I don't know, but
Right. No, no, no. There's, like I said, there's some similarities with, the story. I mean, I was a single mom and, sick and that kind of thing too. So
hmm
I have a little bit of that. But, I just think, yeah, I've had to put my shield up a million times.
hmm
So yeah, I get that. But, I wanted to go back to what you said. You said something about, we don't know each other a lot yet. And I think that's what I wanted to say about coaching and that
mm
because it's great to have a friend to talk to about whatever it is, but your friend is always going to be on your side more like they're not going to
Mhm.
tend to be, the devil's advocate, maybe in some circumstances. But I'm glad we did these episodes like my issue last week and we're doing, the feminine
hmm
masculine role with you right now because it allows me as not knowing you enough to be able to step back because had I known all those things, I would have already had my own knowledge of what I thought about the situation.
hmm
So this was great that we did these at the beginning because we're going to we're gonna get to know each other pretty damn well here
Yes,
in the next like
exactly. I know.
several weeks, like,
I know,
so
like even in the last week, knowing that we were going to do this, I would catch myself like thinking, what am I going to tell her? What am I going to say? And then I'd stop myself. I was like, no, I want it to be in the moment.
yeah,
I want it to
yeah,
be spontaneous.
yeah,
I didn't know I was going to give you that much background. Like
yeah,
it just started to come out that
yeah.
way. And like honestly, thinking about it now, it probably goes even further back to like my childhood
Mm-hmm.
and being the oldest sister and,
Mm-hmm.
finding my mom in tears often because of my dad was, an alcoholic and
Mm-hmm.
an asshole. Um, and also loving that asshole, my dad,
Yes,
like and having a
yes,
really special relationship with him as well, but that was also very, dysfunctional. The
toxic.
thing that I think is key to us having conversations like this is that everyone has had their own experiences, and some will be the same as me, and some will be the same as you, and some will be completely different from both of
Right,
us.
right.
But they will still say, but I get it because I've been there in that situation this one time,
Sure.
or I know someone who is in that
Yeah.
situation.
Yep.
But yeah, it's like hopefully that people who are watching will be able to relate to some of what we're going through and then see that like they're not alone, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. Yeah. They're not alone, that there's help, and especially around the disabilities and or in having an ostomy or whatever
Mm.
issue it is, it does add an extra layer that it's sometimes hard to go to a traditional therapist and talk to about.
Oh yeah.
And it is when you're in a relatable experience, it makes it so much different.
Well, I think that's why coaching is so important. Like we both focus on people with ostomies or disabilities for the reason that we can relate.
Hmm. Hmm.
Like I don't know if you've noticed, but people who like have never experienced the kind of shit that we have, I'm sure you've noticed this, but a lot of them don't know what to say to us. They
Yeah.
they get uncomfortable. A lot of the time we'll lose most of the people in our life after we go
Yeah.
through something like that. And
Yeah.
some people take it really personally, but it's not personal. It's
Right.
just that those people feel so uncomfortable now because they don't know what to say. They don't know what to
Hmm.
say, they don't know what to do, and sometimes us sick people make them feel worse. Like, why the fuck
Yeah.
did you say that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or and
Yeah.
they and which makes it worse. Now they really don't know now they're scared to
Right.
say anything. And so they're
Right.
not going to want to be around us.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm guilty of that. I did,
Yeah.
I remember crying when my bag farted once, like in front of a
Yeah.
family gathering. And like I'm showing people that they should be uncomfortable to be around me if I start
Yeah.
crying when my bag farts. You know what I mean? Obviously, like it was a very fragile time for me when that happened, but
Hmm. Hmm.
um, and now I would just like laugh or whatever, and
Yeah.
it doesn't even bother me now. But
Yeah.
um, like just coaches are different from therapists in that way that
Yeah.
we specialize in the things that we have the most experience and
Hmm.
knowledge in.
Hmm.
And for
Hmm.
me, I have the most experience and knowledge in going having disability and dealing with intimacy issues because of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
That's the like also my area of expertise from being
Yeah.
an intimacy surrogate and working in the adult entertainment industry and going through touch starvation. So that's how I
You have
think
the
of it as a
experience.
coach. Like I feel
Hmm.
like unless someone else it is has almost exactly all the same experience as me, they're not going to be able to give the exact kind of
Yeah.
support
Yeah.
that I give. And
I,
same with you. Like you could relate to me about the hospital. You could
yeah.
relate to me about being a single mother. You
Yeah.
are like the perfect person for me to talk to about these
Right.
things
Right.
because you're not just sitting there going, wow, holy, what has she
Right.
been through? That's just, I can't imagine.
Well, yeah, and
You
if you
know?
think about like from a therapist or a psychological or, in that setting, those people are typically very educated and came from a family. I mean, I don't want to say all the time, but a
Hmm.
lot of times they did the traditional route. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
Where someone like you and I did not go so traditional, right? We
Yeah.
had kids and then we got sick and then we had this and that and this and we spiraled, right?
Yes.
Um, but that's the authenticity in it. That's the beauty of like being able
Mhm.
to help people is by being in their shoes. That's so
Yes.
important.
That's why coaches, I think, are freaking awesome.
Yeah, you're
Um, if
awesome.
anyone's made it this far into this episode, please subscribe to our personal YouTubes. I'm
Yes.
at Intimate Ostimate on YouTube, and
And I
we're
am at Ostomy Innovations
so
on YouTube.
please follow, please subscribe to us on YouTube. Um,
Yeah,
it's
the links are in like if you're listening to this on YouTube, the links are there, but then also on the podcasts, there's links in the description. Yeah. So
cool.
thank you for telling us your story. You were just like, like that was great. I want to say it was great. It's never great to put your emotions out there, but it was
Mhm.
beautiful. It was a beautiful
I
exchange.
feel so much better. So I would say it was great. Um, I'm not embarrassed of crying. I might be a little bit embarrassed if I made funny faces.
You didn't. You didn't. They were actually flawless.
Oh my.
But if we pause the screen, I couldn't, you never
Yeah.
know what you're gonna get.
Like
Take a screenshot.
yeah,
But no, I'm thank you for sharing and being open and vulnerable.
thank
It's a
you.
big step. It's
It
a big
is.
step. So
It
thank
is.
you.
So what I feel like I really am getting walking away with from this is um recognizing that my core trauma is from not having anyone to protect me and feeling like I have to not only protect myself, but also protect everyone around me. Like everyone? Like, is that really my responsibility?
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
And you're
And
gonna
yeah.
find more ways to embody that femininity.
Hmm.
Yeah,
I think even when you just acknowledge something like that, often the universe will deliver opportunities for your growth.
I
So
believe that too.
I got through the block. The block was I don't know why I can't access my emotions or why I am getting so upset while I'm talking about this.
Yeah.
Those were my blocks. I didn't know what deep-rooted problem was causing me the block and also the kind of like the
Hmm.
tears when I started to talk it out. But yeah.
That's what it's
And now I
about.
know, and that's huge for me. That's huge.
That's what it's about, right?
Yeah. I think maybe we could do future episodes where we like keep therapeuticing each other.
I think so too. I think so too. We can come back and give updates and
Yeah.
see where we've gotten in our little goals here. Because
Yeah.
we're getting into 2026, and the 2026 is the start of a new 9-year cycle.
Ooh.
I think it's 9 or 14. Don't get one of the two. But either way, it's bringing in a lot of good stuff. So
Ooh. I'm ready.
2025 is closing and 2026 is going to be amazing. So be ready. Buckle up, Buttercup, because it's
Yeah.
gonna get good.
So the next few episodes are going to be really exciting because they kind of coincide with special events. First, Christmas,
Hmm.
and then New Year's, and
Hmm.
then oh wait, no, that's 2 weeks after. No, a week after New Year's. Yeah, a week after
Oh
New
yeah.
Year's, I am having a birthday.
Yay! Happy
Yeah.
birthday!
So we're probably gonna
Celebrate.
post a poll in the Ostomy Body Positive group to see what our subjects should be over the next few weeks, and get people's feedback. But
Yeah,
yeah, I think it's
perfect.
gonna be fun.
You're doing a great job.
Thank you. So are you.
All right. Thank you. See ya. I don't think I should do this though. This looks like somebody who does this. But yeah, I'm driving the car, driving the bus. Skeet skeet.